You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
They try to stop us.
Yeah,
iTunes has written
really
us
tried
several times asking us to please stop this
Gotten
podcast.
so many takedown notices.
Yeah. It's all that copyrighted music. Sorry.
We're two old guys and one, I assume, rather young lady talk about old game. Not really an old game, but an old style game.
Extremely, probably the most retro-inspired game that we've ever talked about on the show.
That's true. That's true. So today we're going to be talking about Cuphead. Cuphead.
Until we play a video game version of Go, the oldest game, this will be the most retro-inspired game that we played.
But we've brought on just like the most notorious Cuphead expert,
famous,
to my knowledge. Very famous.
Famous for her knowledge in Cuphead.
That's such a lie.
No, she's just being humble. She actually co-developed the game. I don't
and I'm going to try my damnedest not to butcher this, so I apologize.
Coco
Taniguchi.
Oh, that was so good.
That was good. I was close. Okay.
Oh, you're a good boy.
That was so good.
Welcome to the show.
We practiced that like 10 minutes before we got started.
Yeah, for probably about an hour.
I had to do my line face, lemon face to get limbered up.
Yeah, we did last name drills. All right, try my last name, Tyler. Close enough. I'll take it. Your last name is Holland.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, because Coco, people might know you from Twitch.
Correct. Yes.
And
I am a variety streamer on Twitch, and Cuphead was actually one of the last games that I played. So hopefully it's fresh enough in my mind to talk to you guys about it today.
Because I don't know anything really about Twitch outside of the 20 minutes that I watch Dave after I have sex at night. So
I'm part of your afterglow period.
Right.
Yeah.
You're my refractory period.
Yeah, I do like that.
I can't watch you horny, so I've got to get it the cool down.
Right. You watch me after having sex with your wife. Micah watches me while he poops. So I got both of these things going on.
So what? I mean, a variety streamer, does that mean you just stream all sorts of games or anything?
I play a lot of retro games. Lately, I've been on an indie kick, so I've been especially platformers and shooters. So Cuphead was sort of easily integrated into my current trend of games. So I'm excited to talk about it today because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience. As ragey as it was, I enjoyed the experience. So
yeah, I'm also gonna not try to hide my feelings about this game. Normally I try to keep that to the end. So there's some kind of semblance of suspense, but I love this game to death. I
didn't think this is the perfect Dave game.
This is the perfect Dave game. And this is my, we don't do game of the year or anything like that because we're not.
We can this year.
You want to do it this year?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Fuck it. Let's do it
say
this
it right
year.
now what it is. What's the game of the year this year?
Is it just games that we've done on the show? I hope that's the case.
Yeah, sure.
Cuphead.
All right. Whatever justifies it being Cuphead is what we're doing.
It's pretty much. Yeah, exactly. I love this game. It is amazing. I can't wait to talk about it. It's just the best. It's just the best game.
Well, let's see. Before we start off, I'm your beard host, Tyler, and we were talking about intros, and I was like, well...
We do have a bunch of meat
Since we're having a remote guest host, maybe we shouldn't eat all the weird meat that Link sent us.
Right.
So, and you had the idea, so to talk about... I mean, this is heavily drawn from cartoons.
That's a pun. I like it.
Yeah.
You made a funny Master Splinter style.
I didn't even mean it.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
even mean
great.
to do that. Poet, I didn't know it.
I know.
Yeah. So let's talk about cartoons.
Yeah, just for a little bit. I mean, I grew up watching a lot of cartoons. Cuphead is heavily inspired by cartoons from like the 1930s, like the old Mickey Mouse, the old Tom and Jerry, like kind of that era of cartoons, Popeye, stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons I love this game so much, is because it gives me all these memories of watching all these really old cartoons, like at my grandmother's house, because like old cartoons and my grandmother, like those like memories like go hand in hand, because I remember like waking up early at her house where there's nothing to do and like enjoying watching some old like Popeye and stuff with her. Do you guys have like a favorite cartoon? I guess modern or in the past, old school?
I mean, I grew up watching a lot of the Tom and Jerry cartoons, Looney Tunes, things like that. But I'm a big 90s girl. So like 90s Nickelodeon cartoons are my jam, and I could watch them over and over and over again. Like Doug and Hey Arnold and Rugrats, like all of that. That just reminds me of growing up. So,
we like to reference Doug about once an episode.
Yeah, we're probably good.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm in the right place.
make a deep cut Skeeter reference.
So bring up some Chalky Studebaker.
Yeah, I'm a big brave dog. Yeah,
because I'm also left-handed and wear sweater vests around. So
I love it.
Because I think I had to list. I remember, years ago, whenever like it was very popular to post your top 5 of something on Facebook.
Yeah, sure.
I remember being asked, like one was like top 5 TV shows.
Rocko's Modern Life, right at the top.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yes.
The only cartoon I had on my list, which I would still say now, I love it, is
The Critic. I'm just gonna keep guessing.
Shit, The Critic's still good. Naruto Shippuden.
Ah, okay.
I still love Naruto.
Do you consider that like? Do you separate cartoon and anime? Like, is that like? Is there a separation for you, or is it kind of the same?
I guess sort of like if I were to like, you can only name cartoons, I'm gonna include anime. But if I want to break it down further, I would separate them. Like
into like a genre, subgenre kind of thing.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about anime is how it's like a reflection of North American animation from like this period, from like the 30s and stuff. So like that's really cool. There's a really cool like evolution there that you can see. And then like what I love is like we're living a period now where we're seeing like North American animation mimicking Japanese animation or Japanimation as we colloquially call it.
Avatar, The Last Airbender,
Right, sure.
was, that, and because I love that and Legend of Korra so fucking much.
I haven't seen any of that.
Oh man,
And
so good.
I've heard great things.
Especially Korra, so good. But Naruto Shippuden, I'm still watching Boruto, Dragon Ball Super.
That is the Borat version of Naruto?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay.
Majutsu.
Majutsu.
And then I'm trying to convince Melissa like to watch King of the Hill with me.
Oh man, it's all on Hulu now, and
I know.
it like completely consumed my Thanksgiving break. Like it was one of these where it's like, dude, I'm gonna like stream so much over Thanksgiving, and then what happened was I got a cold, and then I saw King of the Hill. All of King of the Hill was on Hulu, and it was like, well, I guess this is pretty much my 4 days.
Because I've got her. We watched like 10 minutes of the first episode. She's like, I do like that they said "darn it."
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
King of the Hill is one of those cartoons where it's like, when it was current, I did not get it. And I'm willing to admit that. I did not get it. But like now watching it, I'm like, this show is fucking brilliant.
So, but like, I'm trying to think back, like, what I would say are cartoons. What did I enjoy? And I guess I would have to think, what are the first things I wanted to introduce Kenna to?
South Park, naturally.
South Park, of course. Muppet Babies.
Oh,
was the first thing.
Yeah.
We watched through some of David the Gnome the other day.
Yeah.
She was interested in that.
For how long?
We watched one episode.
Okay, she made it through a full episode.
She made it through.
I love David the Gnome, but that is a boring ass cartoon unless he's riding that fox.
Yeah.
Unless he's on Swift, that is a boring cartoon.
I skipped ahead and saw how fucked up it is when it ends.
Right. Yeah.
Where they just like go into a field and just disappear. Well, we're dead now.
Unsolved Mysteries.
What other cartoons that I love? Of course, yeah, all the Nicktoons. I'm with Coco. Because I remember watching
Nickelodeon in the 90s was just the best.
It was banging. It was banging for real. Like, I didn't get into Hey Arnold because it was like one of those, like Hey Arnold, SpongeBob, stuff like that. Like Hey Arnold, I feel like
Beavers.
Angry Beavers. I watched a little bit of Angry Beavers, but like Hey Arnold kind of felt like the tipping point for me, where I just kind of like stopped watching Nickelodeon in general. I'm a little bit older than you guys, so it's also like, but it's also one of those where I would like I would secretly watch some cartoons, very much like I would secretly watch Power Rangers in the morning, where it's like, I know that I'm too old for this, but I really don't give a shit because I do want to see what happens in this nonsensical plot.
I mean, Hey Arnold had some dark themes.
That's
and
what I hear.
Undertones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had some heavy concepts for sure.
Because it was supposed to have been a spinoff about Helga was supposed to have been picked up by MTV and just called the Patakis.
Really?
And it was dark about where Helga's mother, who is an alcoholic, and her father has anger issues, that they finally divorce and kind of take things out on Helga. Like, it was supposed to be a very animated My So-Called Life, basically, with Helga.
Hey Arnold stops being polite and starts being real. So what happened? Do you know why it fell through?
I'm not exactly sure why. I remember I watched because I watched a video about the story breakdown and where it was supposed to go and concept art for it, but it just kind of petered out. MTV just ended up not picking it up.
Did y'all like Ren and Stimpy at all? That's a Nicktoon, but that's like a really early Nicktoon. Like, that hit me at the right time because I was very much...
I watched Ren and Stimpy a lot, but I think I was too young to understand how gross it was.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it. And that was like the grossness and the fact that it's like, my dad and I don't really have a lot of common interests, but for whatever reason, my father loved Ren and Stimpy. And it was one of those where it's like, we can talk about Ren and Stimpy. This is great. Your favorite character is the horse who says, "No, sir, I don't like it." That's wonderful.
I also was like, I watched it and I liked it, but I was turned off by the grossness of it.
Yeah.
I do remember having
gross stuff.
the cassette and listening to the cassette of their songs over and over.
I didn't know there was a
over.
cassette.
Oh yeah,
Have
Brendan and I both had it.
Have like Happy Happy Joy Joy on there.
Yep.
Probably the log
Oh
song.
my
Log,
god.
Powdered Toast Man.
Powdered Toast Man. Yeah, I forgot about that. What made me think of Ren and Stimpy is because like they revived Ren and Stimpy on MTV, and you talking about MTV.
That feels like it's a better place for the Nickelodeon.
It was horrible though. Yeah, and
But it was really raunchy.
Yeah, it lost a lot of the magic though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like they kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you just lit Glass Geek Supo, just go nuts. Do what you want to do.
Yeah, we've seen some really bizarre Class Gigasupo cartoons. The Rugrats people. Like, what was that one where the man had like tiny humans?
He like sent off to like a company and he got sent these tiny humans and he fell in love with one.
And doesn't he drown one in semen?
Yeah.
It's the creators of Rugrats.
She tries going down on him and he comes and he just pulled up the blanket and she's dead.
Because because she is the size of a shot glass, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was weird. That's a weird thing that exists.
Done in Rugrats animation. So yeah.
What I want to see is that recut with like the Rugrats intro, where it has that big like splash with the title.
Ruined childhood.
Yeah, that's the title of the episode, Ruined Childhood. Ba-ba.
I like the theory that Tommy is dead and that this is all in Angelica's head. That it's her trying to cope with the death of her cousin that she witnessed.
That's why the babies like can talk and stuff.
That's why she's the only one that can understand them, and they like kind of go to her, and she kind of just gets to be bratty to them. So that's the dark cartoon theory I read about Rugrats.
I like dark cartoon theories. That's your YouTube channel. Dark cartoon theories. There you go. Not me, you. It's all you.
No, you and I would totally do that. Oh man.
Do you like any of the classic cartoons? Like, I really watch more 90s cartoons than anything. But I mean, like, as far as like the old stuff goes, like any like the old Disney stuff or anything like that?
Coco, you?
I was more of a Tom and Jerry fan. That's what resonates with me the most, I think. So not so much the old Disney stuff, but Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes, I feel resonated with me a lot when I was younger.
That Donald Duck, though. That Donald Duck was my favorite.
The Donald Duck.
Where he gets mad. Like, just, I don't know. For some reason as a kid, seeing Donald just get furious was hilarious to me.
Or there's the Donald Duck, the cartoon where he gets these throat pills that make him actually talk clearly.
Yeah.
And he becomes like
he's got the sweet like baritone or whatever.
Yeah. and how desperate he is as he runs out and like drops the last one as he's about to make some important sale, and his life just falls down around him.
So, quick question: Donald Duck versus Daffy Duck. I'm not talking about quality, but like in an actual physical throwdown, who comes out on top? No, they can't tag anyone in. Donald, you're going Donald, Coco?
I say Donald. I say Donald.
He's a sailor. He's been in a few scraps.
There's old comics where he murders Goofy. So
wait, is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Where he murders Goofy?
Goofy accidentally, they're fishing. Goofy is fishing at the dock, and Donald is standing behind them. And whenever Goofy reels in a fish, he accidentally hits him with the fish.
Oh, that's manslaughter.
So whenever Goofy's not looking,
that's dog slaughter.
Donald ties him to an anchor and throws it off the dock.
Oh, no, that's murder. Okay, yeah, that's murder. Oops. So wait, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Goofy accidentally hits Donald?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's why Donald's the best,
and it
man.
pisses off Donald, so he kills him by drowning him alive.
Donald's the best because he's cold, calculated murderer.
See, but I've also seen Daffy take multiple shotgun blasts to the face.
Yeah.
He's fine.
And he does have a trick that he can only do once.
That's true, yeah.
But it's a good one. Yeah, I think Daffy's probably, to compare it to a cartoon you mentioned earlier, I think Daffy's probably the Naruto of if we're going to do like a cartoon parallel, a duck parallel to Naruto characters, Daffy is probably the Naruto because he can just take a punishment. He's not going to he's not going to get Donald right off the bat, but he'll get there eventually. I want to say Donald because I just imagine that he has it in him. Like he has it in him. He's willing to break Daffy. He's willing to go he's not have no mercy. And he has a rich uncle.
There's a certain sass about Donald too that just makes me feel like he would just dominate. I don't know. I just a feeling I get.
Yeah, I get it. I'm right there with you. I think if we could determine whether or not Daffy could be killed, I think that's the crux.
Well, I don't know of Daffy having a love interest, but Donald does. So
Yeah,
Donald has a weakness that Daffy could exploit.
That is true. If Daffy wanted to get all like mafioso on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like Donald's got a job too. So I mean, there's a lot of things Daffy could exploit.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
there are so many variables that we can think of.
I think the only job Daffy's had is like what? Private investigator?
No, he was a space captain. He's got
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. What is that called? Duck Dodgers?
Yeah, there you go, Duck Dodgers. I watched a shit ton of Roadrunner and Coyote cartoons.
Yeah, me too. Until I played the NES game, and then I was like, I need to reevaluate whether I like this.
I was very pissed off about that too.
Yeah, it's a bad game.
Am I the only one that hated the Roadrunner? I feel like I'm one of the only people out there that couldn't stand the Roadrunner.
No.
I felt so bad for Wile E.
understand.
Coyote always.
It's not just you.
I wanted him to win so bad.
Yeah, I mean, the message of that cartoon is not very good. The message of that is sometimes no matter how hard you try, you're not going to get that Roadrunner. Which, I mean, I guess is a true message. It's just not a really, I don't know, positive message.
The aristocracy will always beat you, no matter how hard you try.
Right.
That silver spoon bird motherfucker.
I never really thought about that, but you're right. Wile E. Coyote, the Coyote and Roadrunners.
It's really a tale of the proletariat and the bourgeoisie.
Right, yeah, exactly.
It's really what, yeah.
Man, they were hitting it on all cylinders. I always liked the villains. I like the Disney movies as a kid. I like the villains better than the heroes. I always thought they were more interesting. I think that changed for me probably around Little Mermaid. And definitely Lion King, because Lion King was one of those where it's like, I do like these hyenas, but Scar is a dick.
There was, because I'd seen on Reddit that one of the plans to have an additional kingdom at Disney was to have the Dark Kingdom. That was all about the villains.
They were trying to get people.
That would be awesome, though.
They were trying to get people like me.
That's a great idea.
That is a wonderful idea. I have gone on the record and Nikki and I have had conversations where it's like, we're not going to Disney ever, right? Because it's super expensive and I'm not really interested in going for a third time. And she agreed. We'll see how that goes when Henry's I don't know, 6 or 7. But man, if they enter that, they introduce that Dark Kingdom or whatever, I would change. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
From going, I don't want to go back to Disney, but I would go back to Universal. I very much like Universal.
I haven't been there in a long time. I loved Universal.
Why Universal?
Because I get Disney is geared toward kids. I get that. But even my kids prefer Universal over Disney.
Even Kenna, the youngest?
Kenna. Yeah, I asked Kenna what her favorite part was, and she's like, yeah, Universal. So,
well, there you go.
Universal, I just felt I felt like it was a nicer park. I feel like the rides were more entertaining. Although I will say there's more and more simulation rides popping up, and I don't like that. That's just
the ones that just kind of you sit down in a room and then the chairs like bump
comes
you
up
around
and the chairs,
stuff.
not actual practical. Like the Simpsons roller coaster is a roller coaster simulation.
Yeah,
which I think is sort of bullshit. Like
I kind of get it because it's like animated, right? Like that'd be kind of tough, I guess, to do a really good like physical roller coaster with animated characters.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you look at Disneyland, does that though?
Yeah, that is true. I mean,
it seems like the lazy theme park to me.
Because I only went to Magic Kingdom and what was it? I went to the next day. I didn't go to Epcot or Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
so I haven't been to all of Disney.
Epcot. I did not like Epcot when I went as a kid.
Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom. Those are the two I went to. Half of Hollywood Studios was closed down for stuff that was happening.
Yeah.
But honestly, nothing I went on at Disney was as good as the Harry Potter stuff.
Yeah.
At Universal.
Yeah, I've heard that's pretty great.
Like it was really the roller coaster.
And you're into
was
that.
There. Yeah, I mean, I love
you're
Harry
into
Potter.
it. So I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Universal. I was bummed out when I went as a kid because the one thing I wanted to do at Universal was broken, and it's because it's always broken, and that was the Jaws ride.
Oh
man, I want to do that Jaws ride. Like that was like the big thing. We were driving down there, and it's like pre-internet, so it's not like I could look up and be like, "Oh, Jaws ride is broken." Like we're in this long car ride the entire time. I'm like, man, this Jaws ride is gonna be sweet. I can't wait.
So I guess like if the kids really want to go back to Disney, I'd go back to Disney. But if I'm going for for me to have as much fun as they do, then I'm going to Universal.
Yeah,
yeah, it's very much geared for kids. Although the one. The Frozen sing-along, wherever Elsa comes out and like they actually project mist and bubbles and shit into the audience as she weaves her magic. That was good. That was interesting. But
do you like any like new cartoons that are like current? Like the reason I think about it is because we're talking about villains, and one of Henry's favorite cartoons right now is, I know Kenna likes it too, is True.
Yeah, True in the Rainbow Kingdom.
True in the Rainbow Kingdom. And it's like, what I think is great about this show, I was thinking about it the other day when he was watching it. It's like there aren't really any villains in that show. Like they make that show like really entertaining without like really having any like real evil. It's just like problems. They're just solving problems. They're not like fighting anybody. It's just like, here's a problem, let's solve it with magic and wishes, but we'll downplay that part.
I mean, that's how Shimmer and Shine used to be. There wasn't a villain. It was just like, oh God, can I love Shimmer and Shine? It's Nick Jr., two genies, who they're not very good at being genies. So when they make wishes, things sort of mess up, but they have to figure out how to still fix it.
They're really great Ifrits, though.
Yeah,
not good genies, wonderful Ifrits.
But when they brought back like the second or third season, then they changed the formula up, and I don't like it as much. Again, it still does. Do
they still have Face on Nick Jr.?
No, but man, Face.
Because that was like
I forgot about Face.
My sister, when she was probably about 3 years old, I was like 15. So man, she would like in the summer. I mean, it was just like Face all the time, and it's like to the point where.
Coco, do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah,
I totally forgot Nick Jr. existed until right this second, and I'm just being flooded with memories right now.
Blue's Clues? Were you a Blue's Clues girl?
I was a Blue's Clues girl, yes.
My sister was too. I like Blue's Clues, but I will go on the record and say that Little Bear is the worst cartoon in the world.
Little Bear is pretty bad. I didn't care for Little Bear. It's not a cartoon, but Gullah Gullah Island.
I didn't watch a whole lot of Gullah Gullah Island.
Oh my gosh, yes. Although I think I liked Blue's Clues better.
Yeah.
I think that was like my ultimate for sure.
But Eureka's Castle, you remember Eureka's Castle?
I did, but Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
I did I mean, Blue's Clues, like I was a little old, but I'd watch it with like cousins and stuff. So.
And then I guess like probably the best Nick Jr. I don't even know. It was probably pre-Nick Jr., but it totally fits in that genre. We've talked about it a bunch of times. We've mentioned it on the show. The Noozles.
Yeah.
Oh, man, fuck. The Noozles. Which is like, I don't even know if that was like, I don't know if that was, I don't know what country that came from. Like, I don't know if that was like a French cartoon or if it was Australian or if it was Japanese.
I lean toward it being Australian, but
because they're koala bears.
Koalas, and then like the crux plot point was their dad exploring Ayers Rock and going missing. And,
I don't even remember that.
And like the connection between the Noozles world and Earth is in Ayers Rock.
See, you get so much deeper into it, like, which is wonderful because I need you, and I'm very.
I need you, Dave.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to our friendiversary trip to Disney World next year. But here, like, I love that that's your take on it. But my take was like, there's two koalas. One is blue, one is pink, and this is wonderful.
Well, see, I love cartoons, but like for some reason, I also loved it when it took a more serious turn and got kind of gritty.
Sure,
that's why like the last season of Reboot.
Yeah, I never got into Reboot.
I mean, it was okay. It was just because it was 3D as a kid. It was like, oh, this is computer animated. Like, it's different until the end. Whenever like you see Enzo get his eye fucking ripped out. So
he's clearly an analog for Vecna.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'm good. This has been wonderful. We don't even have to talk about Cuphead if we don't want to. Because
I feel like I've talked over you, Coco.
I do feel like I need like an updated list of cartoons to watch now. I feel like I'm super out of the loop as like the new up and coming stuff.
Do you do any anime?
No, I don't. I get yelled at all the time for that, though.
Yeah.
As long as you watch Cowboy Bebop and then tell people you've watched that, they'll all back off.
Pretty much. Yeah. Cowboy.
Okay. I'll get on it. right away.
But that Cowboy Bebop's an old one now, so I'm sure there's one that's replaced Cowboy Bebop for like you haven't seen
like My Hero Academia,
right?
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty. I think is pretty good.
I have not seen one episode of that yet.
It's one of those where it's like I feel like it's going to be a long one, like it's going to be like going forever, right?
1,000 episodes.
It is so much easier for me to be like, oh man, Cowboy Bebop is really good, and there's a very finite amount of it. And it's like
16 episodes,
right?
You're done.
And it's like I can just enjoy it, and I can rewatch it, and you know what I mean? It's like it's
like, Dave, you have to watch Naruto Shippuden. It's only 500 episodes,
right?
I mean, you need to watch the 250 episodes of Naruto first before you're gonna understand it,
right? Yeah. Well, when I have a quarter of 1,000 30-minute blocks in my life, I'll totally.
But go ahead and finish Dragon Ball first,
right?
And then Dragon Ball Z,
right? Yeah. And then obviously One Piece, we got to do that.
Oh,
so
man.
Yeah, there's a lot of
it's pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
All of the I mean, I ask, sometimes for suggestions around anime, what should I watch? And they start just leaving me lists and lists of things. I'm like, you do understand it's probably going to take me 15 years to catch up to this entire list.
Can you quit your job? Quit your job.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's the list.
Boss, I've decided to quit my job and dedicate it to watching anime.
Who needs to see sunlight? Just lock yourself in your room with some blackout curtains and just binge watch.
I can get behind that.
Well, you guys want to talk about Cuphead?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Well, Dave, do you hear that?
I do hear that. It sounds like the full cast of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I feel like we do need to mention Who Framed Roger Rabbit because, man, talk about like an amazing feat of rights management and licensing because it's like, see Donald Duck and Daffy interacting together, dueling pianos, right?
Well, did you also the artist behind everything in Who Framed Roger Rabbit also had a book, an animation book that the creators of Cuphead used like a Bible.
I didn't know that.
How to follow their animation style.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's amazing. So that's a nice tie-in. I like that. And of course, that cacophonous sound we know ushers in a segment that we like to call Dave Reads from Wikipedia.
I mean, that's what you also in Roger Rabbit do have the racist tirade between Daffy Duck and Donald Duck.
Right, yeah,
Again,
exactly.
Bring it back.
Right, 100%. Okay, guys, Cuphead is a run-and-gun indie video game developed and published by StudioMDHR. It was first announced in 2014, which I think might not be accurate. I think it was actually announced earlier than that. Wikipedia, get on your shit. Because I remember like watching a teaser video for this, and I think like 2012 or something like that, and just being like, this is probably the one, like, sure, I'm excited about games that come out in like a franchise, like Final Fantasy. You know, it's like, well, I don't love the Final Fantasy franchise anymore, but I'm still like really curious to see like what's coming out next. Like this is one of these games, like much like Goose Game, where it's like there's really like
Damn right, Goose Game.
Oh God, Goose Game is gonna change my life. But it is like one of those. This Cuphead's one of those games where it's like, oh man, like I saw it and immediately was like, this game has to happen, and I'm buying it the moment it comes out. So yeah, there's a little pre-gushing. The game was inspired by the rubber hose style of animation used in cartoons of the 1930s, such as the work of studios Fleischer and Walt Disney Animation, seeking to emulate their subversive and surrealist qualities. And I feel like we can probably go from there. That's pretty much a good basis. I feel like Wikipedia should say that this game is essentially Gunstar Heroes meets R-Type meets 1930s animation, because it very much feels like a lot of like treasure games, like Gunstar Heroes. And I also kind of feel like Run and Gun is not like a really good classification for this game because there are run and gun levels.
It is 75% bosses, 25% platforming.
And those bosses are going to take a really long time because it's a boss rush game.
But Coco, what was your first introduction into Cuphead?
I actually saw people streaming it and playing it, and usually it's not my type of game, but the art style intrigues me quite a bit. And the thing with Cuphead is it doesn't look as difficult as it is when you watch other people play it. So you're like, oh, I got this. And then you go in, you just get blown away by how much crap is being thrown at you on the screen. And they always add in one extra little mechanic that just takes the entire fight to a new level. So I sort of went into it like, yeah, I got this, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
It is a tough game. And I think that's probably like one of its biggest.
That is putting it lightly.
Yeah. But see, I love, me, I love that. And it's like, if I can sink my teeth into something that looks beautiful and it's going to like, it is an experience that could take a very short amount of time, but in reality, you have to like get really good at that game for it to take a short amount of time. Like it's a game that you learn, and I like that a lot. But it's like one of those where, like the game. I remember when it came out, one of the biggest criticisms was, I quote, "Goddamn, this is hard."
That one game reviewer who couldn't make it past the tutorial and gave the game a horrible review.
I don't know that he gave it a horrible review. I know that he got like. That's like one of those sad cases where like he was not good at a demo because he played that at Gamescom in Germany before the game was released, and it's like they posted the video, and it's one of those where it's like this games journalist was not good at a game, and the internet like was really shitty to him, like writing his company being like, this man should be fired without like
he totally should.
Right,
fuck this guy. This guy sounds like the worst.
Right, without like knowing anything about like anything he's written or anything like that. But I do want to have a link to that video of him playing the game in the show notes because he is like it's a 27-minute video and he gets past the tutorial and never finishes another stage. It is one of those where it is like just hilariously frustrating to watch because I mean he is missing like very easy jumps. So yeah, it's fun. It's worth watching.
Because I never saw previews for this game. I didn't know anything about it until we talked about it, and Dave, you were just like, hey, this game's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is it? Oh, it's like a super difficult shooter. You probably wouldn't like it.
You would hate it. Yeah, you would hate it. Actually, when I was streaming it on Twitch, I can't remember who it was, but someone said, how far do you think Tyler got in this game? And I was like, I have no idea. Well, I'll find out when we record. But what I should have done was I should have started a poll.
I'm not that big of a bitch.
How far did you get in the game?
I got to the third island.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
You're almost done with the game.
So, I mean, because I played it, I did quite a bit of it co-op with RCAJ.
I'm so glad you played it co-op. How is that?
Good.
I
love the co-op.
Everything I've watched actually looks like playing the game co-op looks like it makes the game easier, which is good because I feel like most games, like I just played a bunch of Zombies Ate My Neighbors and like it's like it's one of those games where it's like, man, 2 players is fun, but it makes this game like really, really hard.
Oh,
I would think Cuphead would be the opposite.
Yeah, I thought
Just
it was easier.
because there's so much shit on the screen already.
Yeah.
Why do you want another person flying or jumping around?
Adding one more element. Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
thing that got frustrating was trying to keep each other alive.
Because you can revive each other, right?
Yep.
And I like what was like you're running into bullets and stuff, like trying to revive.
It'd be
each other?
sometimes we do really well and we'd make it through where neither one of us died, or sometimes it's like we start and immediately one of us would die. Then it's trying to make sure we get the other one back, otherwise we know this run's gonna suck. So
Yeah.
it would, or we'd be just out of reach trying to parry to get them back. Oh no, not gonna work.
I'm really glad you guys played that together. That's awesome.
And then remember Melissa came in and she was blown away by it. Because I mean, I came in this just knowing, oh, Dave likes this game. Downloaded it on Xbox One, and no, I really like this game. I don't love it like you love it, but I do really like this game.
This game is like, I do love this game.
Are you thinking about finishing it?
Oh no, I'll absolutely finish it. Absolutely,
Excellent.
Yeah.
So far, I have only beaten like three, I think, bosses on regular, and everyone else has been on simple. So I'm not close to getting like a good ending.
Gotcha.
But
no, I feel like, I mean, you're going to get, there are 2 endings in this game, and they depend on a choice that you make at the end of the game.
yeah, I know about that.
Okay,
I watched what I didn't play. I went ahead and watched and saw how to, what happens.
We should probably talk about the story a little bit, because we haven't really even touched on that. The story is very simple, and I love it. It's so simple that it is literally sang to you barbershop quartet style the moment the game starts. It is
like the intro of a like a Looney Tunes where you have the red background and Cuphead and Mugman.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that like starburst background, and they're like standing next to each other, swinging. Not in a sexual fashion. They're not like hooking up with each other's cup wives, but they are
Cup swapping.
cup swapping. They're not doing that. They're just swinging their arms and stuff.
Well, they call it sipping. Sorry.
They call it sipping. Essentially the story is, and I love how like how 30s it is. Like they took it to like the point where they are cartoon characters in very like dire adult situation, but it's also got this like weird bend to it because it's like their whole thing is they lost all their money playing craps at the devil's casino, and instead of the devil killing them, he essentially made a deal with them to be his bounty hunters to collect on other characters' debts.
Because what I had read that it was created by 2 guys, the Moldenhauer brothers, and they wanted to very much stay away from the tropey stuff like saving a princess or things like that. So that's why they took a darker swing based on a Fleischer Brothers cartoon called like Swing You Sinners.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I like the Fleischer
The
Studio
devil
stuff.
is designed on the devil in that cartoon.
The devil in this game is like cartoonish, obviously, but also like a pretty terrible, like a pretty like horrific depiction of the devil because he's not like Halloween red devil pointy horns.
And we know
devil.
that's what Satan really looks like.
Right, of course, obviously.
A good Christian boy knows what the devil looks like.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
Yeah, 100%. But like he is this like bestial, like essentially like a furry, pretty much. I mean, it's like what Baphomet or whatever.
It's what millennials would call the devil.
He is the millennial devil.
Let's see. And I guess I do want to go ahead and make sure before I don't forget that this is like to anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The thing that immediately appealed to me when I sat down was like, oh, this is a cool looking cartoon I can play.
It is a cartoon that you can play.
Because this is like everyone who has seen it is blown away by how beautiful this game is.
It's all hand drawn, and like that is a thing that you don't really see in modern animation, let alone in video games. So it is a sight to behold. I do think that it does make it difficult. That is part of why it's a difficult game. And Coco, you kind of mentioned where it's like sometimes it's hard to see what's going on because so much stuff is happening. And
just the level of detail in everything. I mean, you have stuff in the foreground too that's blocking your path, and
that stupid train level.
you just want to watch it. You just want to watch to see what happens, and it's very distracting.
Yeah, it's tough, but I think it also makes it one of those games that's fun to watch being played. I hate to say it because I do think the gameplay is really strong in this game. But if this was just a pixel art style indie game, I still think it would play really well. But I don't think it's a game that I would want to revisit over and over and over again.
Because of this style, it will be timelessly charming.
Yeah, absolutely.
In 30 fucking years, this game is still going to be like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, it's going to age. It's timeless.
Yep.
In the music, I mean, until we can't play it in augmented reality or whatever, then we're fucked. Yeah. But until then, we're good.
Until it's ported to brain implant.
Right. Yeah. The music in this game is fantastic as well because it's all like, I'm a sucker. I am ashamed, but it's like big band is like one of those genres where it's like, yep, it was big in the 90s when I was in high school. And it's like, I don't listen to Cherry Pop and Daddies anymore, or like Royal Crown Review. But like,
what?
I know, right? Yeah. I've been lying to you for years.
Damn it, Dave.
Yeah. I am no longer the president of the.
You have to retool your Christmas present.
Yeah, sorry. Secret Santa, if you're listening.
That signed Cherry Pop and Daddies poster I paid $2 for on eBay.
But the music is wonderful. It's all that big band stuff that you would hear in like 1930s cartoons, like the Fleischer stuff. And I mean, the soundtrack is enormous because it's like there is a new song for every level in the game. They don't they reuse some things like the victory, like the fanfare music when you finish a level, and they reuse little things like that. But other than that, I mean, it's all new music on each stage. So that's like what, 30 some odd tracks just right there. And
plenty of, you can also see the references to modern games though in its level design.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like say, okay, what the frogs, Ribbit and Croaker.
Yeah.
Are Ken and Ryu.
Yeah. They're also I love that, but I think it's a reference wrapped inside a reference because I think it's also a Battletoads reference.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because they throw Hadoukens as their attack when they turn into the slot machine,
which Ken and Ryu are known to do.
They do. Whenever you put them together, that's what their combo is.
I hear in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate that is like if one's playing Ken, the other's playing Ryu, you can turn into a giant slot machine.
Is Ryu like an alternate skin or Ken an alternate of Ryu? Do you know?
Yeah, Ken is in the game. I don't know if they're Echo Fighters. I think they are.
Okay.
But yeah,
good. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But it is a tiger in reference to Sagat.
Yeah, I didn't even put that together. Yeah, you're right. Because like if 3 tigers show up on the slot machine, that's a thing that can happen.
And the way one of them will spin like corkscrew across the screen like M. Bison, Psycho Crusher.
Yeah. Yeah, there's little touches.
You're blowing my mind right now.
Well, and also like even in some of the music, because in like one of the run and gun stages or like the carnival one, like that ragtime music very much sounds like Super Mario World like athletic theme.
Yep.
I mean, like really, like there are like a few bars in that song where it's like you are skating very close to copyright infringement, I think. But
what is let's see, and there's the I forget his name, the blue blob that has like the giant punching glove.
Goopy Legrand.
Goopy. What is it? Goopy Legrand. Yeah.
You say it like I say your last name. It's okay. I understand.
I didn't practice that one before. That was my bad.
He is designed off Slime from the Dragon Quest games.
Yeah.
What else? Grim Matchstick, that dragon.
Yeah.
God,
that dragon.
The dragon.
He took me so long the first time.
They're on record saying that is the dragon from Mega Man.
Oh, from Mega Man 2? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
And there's a stage later in the game that feels like that Mega Man 2 dragon stage when it's one of the running guns and the giant Cyclops is chasing you and you have to like race it by platforming through the rest of the level. That reminded me a lot of Mega Man 2.
Because it said like the platforming was inspired by Mega Man.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
There's a sack of fertilizer. You fight the carrot and the potato.
Yeah,
and
like one of the first
onion
fights. Yeah.
Yeah, the bag of fertilizer is Acme Grow.
Oh, I never noticed that. That fight was actually supposed to have a radish in it as well, but it got cut. I don't know why, but it got cut.
Let's see. Oh, and a recent patch that I read, the flower, the giant flower with
The
like
carnation.
Yeah,
Yes,
Cagney Carnation.
Cagney Carnation.
The one that has that like real like I guess it's like a ramba or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the music is,
Where
maybe a
he's
salsa.
doing his
Yeah,
hands
doing the
like
chops.
that.
Yeah.
At one point, he will spit something at you, and if it hits you, the screen kind of gets blurry.
Touch Fuzzy, get dizzy.
Touch Fuzzy,
get dizzy. Oh
Yep.
man.
That's what that's from.
Oh man, that's amazing. There is
I'm so upset with you guys right now because now I want to go back and replay this, and putting myself through that torture again just sounds terrible.
but it's good torture, right?
Yeah, I mean it's probably one of the most gratifying games I've ever played.
It's
in my
edging
video
it as a video game.
Yeah,
So,
it
weird.
is. And there's also
No.
like some like serious cartoon references too, because it's like I think his name is Dr. Cal with the big robot. Like that whole fight,
Robot.
like that.
because he's like Dr. Wily, right?
Yeah, well, I was gonna take it because like that's a very Fleischer. Like that whole level is very like there's a Superman because the Fleischer Studios did the old Superman cartoons, which are amazing. They're really really good. If you haven't watched them, you seriously owe yourself to watch those. They're amazing. Superman fights a giant robot that is created by a mad scientist. So it's like very much like when I played that level, I was like, this is 100% a nod to that Superman episode.
Because I saw it that parallels the Superman fight. That robot also parallels the Iron Giant
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and Bender from Futurama.
yeah. I didn't even think about
Oh
Bender.
yeah.
And the fight where you the Zeppelin.
Yeah, Hildeberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part of that fight was inspired by what was it? A Contra game where one of the bosses in this Contra game, like Contra Ultimate or something, I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah.
But at the end that the boss will form into constellations, the exact same constellations that the Zeppelin does.
Oh, really?
And it would take the forms of the constellation that you'd have to fight and shoot and kill.
That's cool.
So
There's another Contra reference in one of the run and gun levels where there's one really cool level where like sometimes you run on the ceiling, sometimes you run on the floor, and you can like
Oh my goodness, yes.
you can hit switches and like switch gravity on you. And there are these walls that are like very much the walls from Contra 1, but cartoonified.
the levels that I saw that I didn't get to, and when I was watching them, I was like, I'm glad I didn't play these. These levels look so fucking frustrating. Were one, the Ghost Train,
Yeah, the Ghost Train was a really tough one for me when I first played the game.
and the Beehive.
Yeah.
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Those looked awful, and I didn't want to play them.
Well, the the thing with the ghost train is that you had an extra element with that platform that you had to parry back and forth.
Right.
That just created a whole new layer of frustration in that fight. So that one was probably one of my hardest fights. I think it was harder than the dragon, actually.
Man, that dragon fucked me up the first
Took me a
time.
long time.
Yeah.
But you're blowing my mind with the dragon because in Mega Man, he has to jump on those platforms to kill the dragon. It's the same thing in the last phase of that fight. That's just
Yeah.
blowing my mind right now.
Yeah.
Let's see what
But
else.
I have to disagree with you, Dave. I think that the train boss was just there was just so much happening in that fight.
That's a tough one because that is the one. I might be mistaken because when I just recently played through, I pretty much stopped at the 6-hour mark. I stopped like right before the theater fight on Island 3. So I didn't get to fight the train again. But is that the one where there's stuff in the foreground that can totally mess with you? Or is that later on where you're fighting King Dice?
No, that's later. This is the
Okay.
one. It's just you have that platform that you're on, and you can move it different areas of the screen depending on which side you parry. But then there's also
right.
things flying above that are dropping
Right.
things that are moving your little trolley.
Yes.
So it's I think that one took me the longest out of all of the fights.
Yeah, that was a difficult one for sure.
I really hated, and Artsy AJ agrees with me. And the only thing she's like, make sure you say this on the podcast. It's like, what's that? That Beppy sucks and he needs to be burned alive.
Beppy the clown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's one of those
Yeah.
fights where like a lot of stuff is happening all at once. Because like you'll be fighting him, and then you're having to dodge a roller coaster that comes through periodically, and then in that last phase of his where he spawns these adorable green clown penguins that throw baseballs at you. Like I mean, it's one of those where it's like what. It's one of those surreal moments where it's like, yeah, I mean, I can get on board with this.
I wanted to say like the Pittsburgh Penguins would throw it. No, but that's hockey. No, so never mind. Hockey pucks would have made more sense.
I think that fight too was a good introduction to some of the later ones. Like you went into that fight saying, oh, this game, for me anyway, this game is going to get effing hard. Like I was like, this is the first time where the mechanics were so overwhelming on the screen that I was like, this is just an introduction of what's to come.
You can say fucking hard if you want to. You're welcome to drop as many of those as you want.
I'm trying to behave myself. I'm a guest in your guys' home right now, so.
Well, then fucking speak properly then.
But yeah, that was my take on the clown. I thought it was the hardest fight up until that point, but then after that, I was like, that's nothing compared to the dragon, the train, the bee. I feel like if I were to go back to that fight, I would not have as much trouble with it.
I did.
A fight that I thought was surprisingly easy that I unlocked like an achievement for not getting hit or anything during was the genie.
Yeah, the genie was really hard for me the first time, but like the second time through, it was kind of one of those where it was like, I think because I fought him so many times that I like actually memorized him.
Yeah.
And it's like there are some like the carnation where it's like I forget what this one does.
The carnation's pattern was a little odd. And then it took me, again, I didn't have a huge amount of problems. So probably like 3 or 4 times I was able to beat the bird.
Yeah.
And then I guess I had a little bit of trouble with the candy house, the girl in the candy house.
That candy house messes with me, dude, because it is like, okay, so we haven't really talked really in detail how the boss fights typically work. Typically, a boss has multiple phases. So it's like you'll get a boss to it's like
and
a
you can
certain
fight them
mark.
in any order.
Right.
You're on a map going through finding different markers where you fight different bosses.
There's an overworld, and in order to get from one island to the next, you have to finish all the levels on that island. But the order that you do them in is generally whatever you want, unless sometimes you'll have a thing where if you beat a boss, it unlocks a passageway to another portion of the map. So there is kind of a sequence, but yeah, for the most part, it's pretty freeform. Most of the bosses in the game, I guess really all of them, have different phases, and you'll get a boss to a certain hidden HP, and then its phase will change and its pattern will change up and it'll start doing something different. So because of that, like the game is 100% designed for you to fail. Like it is designed for you to fail and learn a fight and try to memorize that fight until the point where you can get through it without getting hit 3 times. Because that's how many hit points you have. You have 3 hit points, which compared to Contra, very generous.
Well, what was your guys' loadout? What did you typically enjoy as your boosters and your primary weapons and specials?
Good question. Because you can have 2. Go for it.
I was huge on the finger gun, just the basic finger gun. I very rarely used any other weapon.
What about...
I couldn't do the charge shot. I felt like I was losing DPS because I wouldn't let it charge all the way, or I'd wait too long, or I did end up using, I forget what it's called. It's like the short range, it's the red one.
The spread shot.
Short range. Yeah, I ended up using that towards the later fights, but for the most part, I just used the finger gun almost the entire time. It was just easiest for me.
I used the pea shooter a lot as well, the finger gun, which is amazing because like Cuphead snaps, and every time he snaps, he produces essentially a plasma blast.
Courtesy of Grandpa Kettle.
Right, yeah, exactly. And it's
so they're moonshiners. That's what the theory I read.
Okay, so my question, that leads into a question. So put a pin in what our loadouts were.
Yeah, sorry.
Put a pin in that. No, I'm glad you did. What liquid is inside of Cuphead? What's inside his head? Because there's liquid in there.
Moonshine. That's what I believe.
I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
That's amazing.
there's a trailer. I don't think this is actually in the game, but there in one of the announcement trailers, you do see Cuphead pouring. He has a jug in his hand with 3 X's on it, and he is pouring it into his head. This is after he makes the deal with the devil. So it's like the real like rage moment, I guess.
Well, it's like in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, whenever that robot cat loads the violin video game into its head.
I forgot about that.
We didn't talk about Rescue Rangers.
I know.
We didn't talk
about any of the Disney afternoon cartoons.
Did you watch any Disney afternoon?
I'm learning so much from you guys right now about this game.
That is not
it's
usually what
amazing,
people
all of the
say.
knowledge that you guys have about this game. Now I need to go back and play it. So any future rage with this game, I'm blaming it on you too.
You're welcome.
But you also see Mugman drink out of his head.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
When does that happen?
Like it's like the still animation that right before as you're seeing Wallop, and he's sitting there like he'll take a sip out of his head and
really?
That'd be it.
In the co-op mode?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Because that's why.
Does he drink out of the straw?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's why Kenneth showed me a YouTube cartoon about them. About Mugman, like, have you ever taken a drink out of your head, man? Like, try it, just try it. And I was like, I don't know, just come on, let's do it. And they both try it, like, oh my god, it's so good. And they keep drinking until they're out, and then they die. So,
You know, I heard that Marilyn Manson had some of his ribs removed so he could drink out of his straw.
He could drink out of his straw. And because Matt Pat has a game theory about Cuphead, and you see that they live on an island that looks like it's Grandpa Kettle, and he has like distilling equipment in his house. So to further enforce that they are illegal moonshiners off hidden in the woods.
I mean, it makes sense. You know how I usually hate on game theories and stuff like that, but I mean, that makes sense. And I mean, there's visual evidence of Cuphead pouring moonshine into his head.
I wonder what the effect Prohibition had on 1930s cartoons.
Good question.
So did you have where alcohol was vilified like that, or
probably in some propaganda, I would assume, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really good question. But I think that like the whole like alcohol bend, and even like you fight a cigar smoking character, I think he's actually a giant cigar in the game. And like that is kind of one of those things where it's like that makes it feel authentically 1930s because it's like it's a cartoon and there's alcohol in it, there's gambling in it, there's smoking in it, all things that we could all do when we were 8 years old in the 1930s.
because what I heard that another one of the cartoons that it was based off of that was heavily inspired from was a 1936 Japanese propaganda film. Like I don't know what elements they lifted from it, but that was a big.
Really?
It was one of the 5 cartoons that they drew a lot from.
Wow.
A lot and I think their other inspirations were, I think the one that was drawn most heavily from 1930s was that villain with the octopus, the mermaid with the octopus hair.
Right. And she was announced really early because like I remember seeing her like way before the game came out. Her and the Bluto pirate looking dude.
Yeah, God, that fucking guy. Oh, that fucking pirate dude.
And I love the last phase when the turn is, the villain is actually the boat. The boat was the boss the entire time.
Because that's what whenever I'd play this, and no matter what, if I just went, Kenna would immediately, Daddy, don't get mad. Daddy, it's just a game. It's just a game. Don't get mad. Okay, thank you.
Does that work for you?
No.
No, because you're very different than me. I assume that works for you. Whenever Henry is like that with me, it is like very difficult to like. He just like ups the level of anger.
Because that's what would drive me crazy. Like I would I'd get so pissed off at Ryan, my little Coco. That's my little brother. For all the inside jokes, I'm sure you don't get. Like when I say artsy AJ, that is my stepdaughter, whose name I don't say on the show. Any of my generally, and only by accident when I say their real names. But whenever we would play video games and I would die, he would go, "Oh, that's the sound of my fucking. That's my fucking trigger right there." It's like nothing would I would throw a control. Shut the fuck up, Ryan.
All right. Back to
it's just a soda drinking contest in Chrono Trigger. You can beat it. Shut up.
Yeah, that soda drinking contest is rigged.
Oh, you got 7 beers or 7 orange sodas.
It's rigged. Going back to the thing we put a pin in, my loadout was typically the pea shooter, and I really like that spread shot too, but I usually went with the chaser, which is it's a low damage gun, but it homes in on targets. So it's like, I felt it was really nice because when I'm fighting a boss that involves a lot of platforming, like that dragon, the Mega Man 2 dragon,
Yep.
like there are segments where you like really have to platform
Where
while
you're
you
just
fight him.
watching out those fucking flames that are marching out of his mouth,
Right.
that seemingly jump up out of nowhere. So,
Right. But the game is designed really well because, I mean, they give you, I feel like they realize there's a lot of stuff happening on the screen. So it's like they do give you audio cues, which is really nice because it's like, but by the time I was getting better at the dragon fight, it was because like I was picking up, okay, before the flame jumps, it makes a sound. So when I hear the sound, look down at the flame. Don't even worry about the flames until I hear the sound. When I hear the sound, look down at the flames, and then depending on which way that flame is facing, I'll kind of get an idea of which way it's going to jump, kind of deal.
Well, and that's what makes the detailing in this game so amazing are those little teeny tells that you have to look for the mechanics. Because
Yes.
sometimes you can't really see it right away because you're focused on 3 other things.
Right.
And so sometimes it's an audio tell, sometimes it's like a small visual tell, but that's like those little details in this game is what makes it, for me, a good game to a great game, and really tests like the level of skill for a gamer. So, but yeah, I just remember those stupid little flames that would jump up. That was the hardest part of that fight for me.
Yeah,
I'm with
absolutely.
you 100%.
And
Those little guys were the worst.
The little, cause they look like, remember when skateboarding was really popular when I was in 8th grade, everybody wore shirts with like a little flame that looked like that or a little like drop of water. I don't know. I don't remember anything else about, but those 2 designs being super popular and having to do with skateboards. I don't know how or why.
I think you're thinking of
Ben, let me know why. What if they are?
well, they were the Magic the Gathering brand skateboards. You just didn't see the little
Yes, thank
skull.
you.
You didn't see the
What do? I do a skateboard deck.
Right.
A blue-red skateboard deck.
But I mean, yeah, I think, Coco, you had a really good point where it's like talking about the tells, right? And to that regard, it reminds me of even like Super Punch-Out, where it's like, because essentially Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out, that's a boss rush game. Everyone you fight is a boss. And it's like there are several phases that you have to go through when you fight the other boxers. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's kind of got its roots even in a game like that. And I think it's really cool.
I feel like the tell for TADPOG fans that I could have enjoyed this game is that I do like big fun boss fights.
Yeah.
I've said that many times. Like
Yeah.
whenever a game has unsatisfying boss fights, I'm let down by it. This game is one spectacular boss fight after another,
Yeah.
with enough run and gun levels to keep it interesting and fun and give you kind of a break. Although I had so much trouble with this one run and gun stage to where you're inside of a tree with like a woodpecker's coming down, and then you have to
it's
go.
like the second. It's like the second one, I think. Yeah, it's
God,
a hard
I
one.
had so much trouble. I had easier time with later in bosses than I did that fucking stage.
Yeah.
Because I would get to the very end where I'm jumping on those leaves.
Yeah. Oh,
get
yeah.
to that little mini boss.
You have to fight a boss. Yeah.
And like it's weird. It feel like it varied, like how many times you had to hit him, and then the leaves that would come up.
And he starts burning your leaves, destroying your leaves.
More times than not, I would fail my dash because you have to dash over to the ledge to finish it, and I would fuck that up and have an aneurysm.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about like the actual mechanics of the game. I mean, it's pretty much, if you're familiar with Contra or Gunstar Heroes, I mean, you pretty much got it. You can duck, you can jump, you can move left to right. You can fire in 8 directions. You can hold one of the buttons down so you don't move while you're firing. And you can dash. Dashing is super important. As you mentioned, you have to use it in certain points. It's like you can't not dash. You can also parry things. And parrying is super important because every time you parry, pretty much anything in the game that's pink, you can parry. And
Although I had to learn anything pink and not just like flashing pink. Some stuff is
Sure.
obviously
Right.
Other stuff is not like brightly lit pink.
right. Yeah, absolutely. There were things that surprised me where I accidentally parried it. It's like, oh, I can parry off of this.
Like then the cake candy stage, like the little pink soldiers that would come out that
Right.
aren't
Right.
lit up like the others,
And they're hard to
but-
see because they're tiny.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and parrying's important because every time you parry something, which is essentially you...
Steve Perry.
Yeah, every time you Steve Parry something, every time you Perry Mason something, you gain super meter. And I love how the super meter is represented as playing cards in this game. Like every time you fill up a portion of your meter, you get a playing card that shows up at the bottom of your screen. I think you can get up to 5 of them. And once you get 5, you can do what's called a super art. Which is there are 3 different super arts. You can Mugman can go horizontal and shoot all of his moonshine on an enemy.
Delicious brain.
Oh my gosh, it's moonshine! I'm so blown away right now.
Another one gives him invincibility.
Didn't care for that one.
It's situational because there are
I never used it ever.
I pretty much only use Super Art 1. I'll be honest.
Me too.
I can't even remember what Super Art 3 is.
I did love those mausoleum levels though.
Yeah, which is all parrying. Where like I believe it's Lady Chalice, who is going to be a new playable character in the DLC that's coming out in 2019. It's going to be a high contender.
The hot one.
Yeah, the hot cup. She is who you're rescuing in those mausoleum.
That's a cup
levels.
I would fill. Hi-oh!
But there's like, that offers a lot of game variety as well, because it's like, yeah, you do have to, each island has a mausoleum that you need to complete in order to gain a super art, which is essentially you just parrying off of ghosts to stop them from getting to an urn.
Yep.
It's like Missile Command or something. I mean, it's like pretty simple, but it gets, challenging.
Which, if it wouldn't have come out before, I would have said it's based on Baby Shark, because you've got the regular ghost, the grandpa ghost, the grandma ghost.
Yeah. The other thing
I could have done without. I actually would have been perfectly fine if the game was just a boss rush.
Me too.
I didn't need the run and gun levels or the mausoleum. I mean, I understand why they were there, but I enjoyed the game the most when I was playing the bosses.
Me too. I think at its core, it's definitely a boss rush game. And I feel like when it was first announced a long time ago, it was more, it feels to me like it was more of a run and gun game. And I feel like it kind of changed over time and became like a more of a boss rush game.
Because they changed, apparently their E3 reception was so warm that they put out a second mortgage on their homes and went all in on making it everything that they wanted, instead of just, they were going to shorten development to get it out, but whenever they saw people freak out about it, like, oh, okay, well, we'll roll the dice.
And then
this.
roll the dice.
Yeah.
and then Microsoft came in and funded the development as well, which is why you can pretty much only play this game on Microsoft Windows, Xbox One, and they did do a Mac release as well, which really surprised me that they did a Mac release. But it's like, that's a bummer.
Is it not on the Switch yet?
Nope,
Man,
and it probably never will be, because Microsoft, I don't know how much they funded, but they funded. I mean, I don't know what kind of deal they made. Like, I don't know if it's a lifetime exclusivity to Microsoft or not, but this game would be awesome on the Switch. I would buy it again in a heartbeat. Besides guns, you can also buy charms, which kind of modify the rules of the game as well. Did you guys have a favorite one that you would use?
Extra life.
The dash, the invincible dash.
Yeah, smoke bomb.
It saved me so many times. I couldn't. Well, I couldn't change it. I was so used to it by the time I was, halfway through the game, that I tried doing, the extra hit point. But then I just found that I was just getting hit earlier by not having my dash. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hang on to that. And I used that for the entire game.
I would change it up when there's like, when I'm fighting a boss that didn't require a lot of dodging, and I was like almost beating the boss each time, I'd pick up that extra hit point. Tyler, how about you?
Because I think, what was the chaser the one that was like the spinning discs?
No, the spinning discs is the roundabout.
I used the roundabout a lot, and then my secondary was the spread shot.
I hear the roundabout is really good. It deals a lot of damage, but I was never good at it, because you have to face the opposite direction of what you want to hit when you use it. And it's like, that is
so weird.
Yeah, I know, right? I just couldn't wrap my head around it. But I hear from a lot of people that like, that's one of the highest DPS weapons in the game. And then there's also the lobber, which I didn't use a whole lot. The lobber is kind of like, it's like a heavy ball that you produce, and instead of going like in a straight horizontal line across the screen, it arcs downward. So it kind of works like the bombs
okay.
when you're flying the airplane, which we haven't even talked about the airplane levels.
Which I think those are probably my favorite levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like them. They're kind of the same and different at the same time because all the airplane levels are boss levels. You're fighting a boss, but it kind of like you don't have to worry about dashing because you're in an airplane, and this is kind of where it turns into that like R-type kind of game. You don't have to worry about dashing because you can't dash as an airplane. You can make yourself smaller.
Which I never fucking did.
You don't do it.
Ever.
I never did either.
If it's going to be that close, I'm just going to get the hell out of the way. Like, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Nah.
So you're the airplane when you fight the giant bosses, like the genie, like the giant mad scientist robot.
The Zeppelin.
Yeah, stuff like that.
The birdhouse. Like, yeah.
Right.
those-
And you eventually get bombs. You start out with the airplane just being able to shoot bullets straight ahead, but eventually you can get bombs that arc downward when you shoot them, and they deal more damage. So, I mean, to me, like honestly, that was all the variety that the game needed. I would totally be fine, like Coco, like you said, like I mean, if it was just all boss rushes and they kind of switch between regular on foot and in the air.
I even think that the selection of guns and charms and all that, I didn't even think they needed it all.
Yeah, I think it's really nice because you can kind of customize your experience. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it was necessary. And I'm also kind of I'm the kind of person that I would be interested in doing a run of the game where it's like just using the pea shooter. Because it's like, that's how I play Mega Man games like that, where it's like I'm training myself.
Blaster only.
Right, yeah,
Mega
exactly.
Buster. Yeah. Did you guys find a lot of hidden coins?
I found them all. I 100%ed the game.
Nice.
See, I did not know
Because
they were
I
even a
just had
thing.
to.
When I watched a playthrough, I was so pissed off at myself. Like, there are hidden coins everywhere.
Yeah. Well, there are hidden secrets everywhere, too. Like, in the second island, you run across a barbershop triplet, a trio, if you will. And on that map, you can find the fourth member of their quartet. And when you get them all back together, you're treated to a bonus track, a bonus song. They sing for you, like, take a break. They suggest you take a break. You're essentially Ness's dad.
Yeah. So, Coco, did you get the black and white filter?
The black and white filter.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
If you finish the
No.
game, if you do all the run and gun sections without shooting your gun, you get, you know how you get graded at the end of each level?
Yes.
Which I think is wonderful. I love games where it's like, it tallies everything up, and it's like based on how many things you parried, based on the time it took, how much life you had.
I disagree with you on that. Saying when I'm struggling through a level and they're like, yeah, you get a C+. I'm like, listen, okay. I beat it. Just give me my trophy already.
If you get through the run and gun stages without shooting at all, your grade is a P for passive. And if you complete all the run and gun stages without shooting your gun, you unlock a black and white mode where you can play the game.
Oh, I did not do that.
In black and white.
That's crazy.
There's also a two-strip mode where if you get S rank on all of the levels, you unlock two-strip mode. Two-strip is essentially Technicolor. So it's like everything, like all the colors are kind of intensified.
Awesome.
Which is nice. I mean, it's kind of like a cool thing that doesn't really change the gameplay. It's just a vanity thing.
So what's everyone's favorite boss fight?
Ooh. I really liked, what's her name? The candy one. I know you guys don't like her.
No, I thought she was really hard. Her name is Von Bon Bon.
Which
Yeah.
Kenna told me in the
Baroness
lore
Bon Bon Bon.
that after the fact, after they're all saved, that is Cuphead's girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
That's what Kenna told me.
That's Kenna headcanon.
I don't know if it's real. She watches a shit ton of YouTube videos about Cuphead.
Right.
Like a lot.
Well, I mean, it makes it possible. I mean, it's possible because, like, spoilers for the end of the game, it's story light. But if you want to go ahead and skip ahead 30 seconds or whatever, feel free. When you get the good ending of the game, all of the soul contracts that you've rallied up for the devil get returned to the bosses. Hey, Kenna.
There was Kenna for a second. I don't need you quite yet. You want to say hi?
No, that's a Henry move right there.
But I just call her the candy lady. But I just liked all of, like, the little mini bosses within that fight. Although I hate the waffle, but other than that, I thought
It's
it
an
was
awful
waffle. Yeah, for real.
But I thought it was cool. Just, you never knew what mechanics you were going to get, what she was going to throw at you, and I thought I had the most fun, I think, with that fight. So
Because the first time I beat that, I got lucky because there's always you fight 3 out of the 4 mini bosses.
Right, and they're randomized, like what you get.
I didn't get the waffle.
Yeah.
So, because the waffle. Because, the gumball machine is nothing.
The gumball machine is easy. The Jawbreaker, which is 100% a Pac-Man reference, because he has like a pie slice out of him, and he even moves like Pac-Man, and he dies like Pac-Man too because he turns into.
He folds the opposite way and disappears.
And then there's the candy corn.
Dave hates the candy corn.
I hate the candy corn.
Candy corn does suck.
I hate the candy corn.
I'll take candy corn over waffle.
Because he's so big. The candy corn's so big that I always have trouble dodging him.
If you have the invincibility dodge, it's not a problem.
Well, I forget to use it is the problem. I do have the smoke bomb. The reason I think the waffle is easier is because I use that chaser gun. So it's like I can stand on the other side of the screen from the waffle and just hold the fire button down. I don't really have to worry about dodging his waffle explosion. Tyler, who was your favorite boss?
Probably just because it was the first one that I beat with Kenna and she went crazy with excitement, was the Zeppelin. Whatever she was the first one I beat on regular mode and got her soul contract, being the giant crescent moon robot that she was.
It's a wonderful phase. It's breathtaking. I love King Dice. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there.
That Gunstar Hero fight?
It's not so much the fight. It's just the character. Like, I love the character King Dice.
Yeah.
There aren't many lyrics.
So much you cosplay as him.
I do, yeah. Bubba Drewski did make me a King Dice mask, which I need to repair because I was an irresponsible mask owner. But like King Dice, I love the character design. He is like one of those, and it goes back to me just liking villains. I mean, it's like he's a great villain because he's like
he's the devil's lackey.
He's the devil's right hand man. There's a difference. He is the Dwight Schrute of this game. But he's got that like pencil thin mustache, and he's
based off I forget his name. Based off a conductor.
Oh, really? I didn't know that
of that time period.
Huh.
The guy had also inspired several different characters, not just in their games, but across the spectrum.
Really? I didn't know that.
I'll have to look it up again to remember.
But I like King Dice, and I like also it's like at the end of every island you have to go through what's called a die house, which is it's kind of like a Toad house from Super Mario Brothers 3, but instead of it looking like a mushroom, it's a giant 6-sided die, and you go in there and you're taunted by King Dice. And what I love is like the music that plays when you're in a die house has lyrics about King Dice, and it's like this guy is a big deal because he gets lyrics. So, but the fight itself is very much Gunstar Heroes because it's like randomized. You play a board game essentially. You roll a die and then move those spaces, and then whatever you get, you fight. I like his fight, but I honestly think my favorite is probably the rat that you fight, where he's like got this like tin can catapult contraption. And my favorite thing about it is that fight has 2 twists in it. You fight 2 phases of this rat controlling his tin can catapult, and then all of a sudden a cat bursts in. He's a giant cat and eats the rat. You fight the cat who uses ghost rats as like they're firing. It's like, what the hell is going on? And
it's Tom and Jerry.
I know, and I love it.
I love it. That was that's one of my top fights for sure.
It's such a wonderful fight because there's also this like real Kilroy moment because like when you beat the cat's face falls off and it's revealed that it was actually the rat controlling a giant mechanical cat. So it was the rat the whole time. I love it. I love that 2 twist kind of deal. So
All right, I found King Dice's design is heavily based on Cab Calloway.
Cab Calloway
A
from
famous
Callaway
American,
County.
Yep. A famous American jazz singer who also appeared in 3 Betty Boop cartoons with his songs, Minnie the Moocher, Snow White, and The Old Man on the Mountain.
Oh, man. No, I did not know that. That's a knowledge bomb. Thank you.
There you go.
So I need to study Cab Calloway for sure for the next time I cosplay.
Perfect your King Dice. Yeah.
King Dice.
I can't believe you liked that fight, Dave.
Oh, it's not necessarily the fight. It's more just King Dice. Like that character
You just
design.
like the character.
Yeah, the character design is marvelous.
That
I
fight
think. I
was
love it.
brutal.
Yeah, the fight is brutal because it's a gauntlet. Yeah. In a boss rush game, it is a gauntlet of mini bosses.
Oh, man.
Tyler, who's your favorite?
The Zeppelin.
Hildeberg.
The Zeppelin.
Hildeberg. Yep.
But you didn't. Where did you stop? You didn't do the train.
No, I stopped. Because the last one I just barely beat and then put it down and just couldn't go back was after I beat Beppy, and that was it.
Oh, got it. Okay.
After
Yeah,
that, I
he's
finally
pretty
okay. And then
He's
I just
pretty
had
rude.
because I want to go back and beat it. I just need to let that meter build back up.
I have a very serious question for both of you. So the devil runs a casino where the King Dice is his Dwight Schrute, and that's where the whole game kind of starts, is by Mugman, Cuphead and Mugman losing at that casino. What kind of Yelp reviews do you think that the Devil's Casino has? I'm assuming probably pretty bad, because it seems like everybody in the world has lost there.
Well, if you go there and you lose, then you're indebted to him. Well, they also get away from him, though, so they do have some free will. They would probably leave a bad review just to taunt him.
Yeah,
he's
I guess that's a good
he's
point.
not going after them.
Right, yeah.
You know, what's he really doing to them after they lose besides having their souls?
Bad service, too smoky.
Yeah.
Would not go again.
Took my soul.
Yeah. Manager, very rude.
Am now Giant Zeppelin.
Struggling to find work. Struggling to find work as rat in catapult can.
Let's see.
I want to know how these bosses got away, though. Whereas, Cuphead had to go do the devil's dirty work. How did these other people get away with their souls?
That's a really good question. I honestly, I don't know.
Loophole.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, and a lot of them got away.
Yeah.
And he's like,
A bunch.
is the devil
He's a bad
only-
devil.
Yeah.
He's not good at his job.
Yeah.
Is he like Dissipator? He's only powerful in his throne. Like, he has to stay in it. He's all powerful in his casino, but if he leaves, that's why he sends King Dice out.
Yeah, maybe. Although that doesn't make my boy King Dice look very good.
No.
He's letting a lot of those debts default.
Yep.
So the hardest fight in the game, Dave, you think is the dragon?
I don't know. On the second go through,
Or the train.
I didn't think the dragon was as bad as he was. I didn't get on my second playthrough. I did not get to the giant robot. My first time through, I had so much trouble on that fight that I'm going to stick with that answer and say the giant robot. Which one did you think was the hardest, Coco?
The train, but Tyler mentioned
that's
the bee earlier.
That looks so frustrating.
I'm just remembering the bee, and that last phase just gave me so much trouble. So I think I'm going to stick with the train, but I think the bee gets an honorable mention.
You're talking about the phase where the bee reads from her spell book and transforms into a giant plane with
Into
a
an
buzzsaw arm.
airplane.
Yeah. I mean, that's
And has
like,
that ridiculous arm saw.
oh yeah.
Oh,
It is
got
so
me every time.
the game is so damn surreal that it is like, it feels so authentic to like the cartoons of that era, man. And it's like, even like when the devil like looks at Cuphead and like the devil's pupils turn into like a cleaver smashing a cup. It's like, man, this is like very well done. Very, very well done. You can tell that they drew a lot of inspiration. It wasn't just something that it wasn't like, hey man, you want to put a game together?
If you lose to the devil, his defeat quote is the same as M. Bison's.
Oh, really?
Yep. So I'm wondering if because of like the amount of contracts out there, I'm wondering if Grandpa Kettle didn't owe the devil some money, so he sent Cuphead, made it, trick them into going and
Yeah.
gambling, knowing the devil would get them.
I like to think
maybe pay back.
I like to think that maybe Cuphead and Mugman were delivery men, delivery cups, if you will, delivery vessels for moonshine. Like they're
moonshine
supplying
to the devil, to his casino.
They're supplying the casino.
So they're going to drink and spend more money.
Right.
There you go.
I think we solved it.
I like that.
Call Unsolved Mysteries because I want that reward. I'm glad that you brought up the fact that you get a quote from a boss that defeats you, because on that same screen, I love this. You see there's like this horizontal bar with 2 dots on it. A dot on the left represents the start of that fight, and the dot on the right represents the end of that fight. And you'll see after you lose, Mugman or Cuphead will run across that line and kind of stop, giving you an idea of how far you got through the fight. Or how close you were, how agonizingly
it can just really
close.
twist that knife after you're dead.
But it's also nice because
it's a pretty troll move if you think about it. Because they don't give you a health bar during the fight, so you're in anticipation the entire time. Okay, when am I going to hit the next phase?
Right.
How much more? I have 1 life point left. How much more do I have to hit this stupid boss to beat it? And then then you just see how close you really were. And
getting a knockout is very satisfying, though, to finally just out of the blue, bam, knockout.
Yeah, with the announcer and that fucking wonderful warped text that comes up. Oh, man, it's so good.
To add to that they're full of moonshine, at the beginning when it says wallop is a 1930s term for how strong alcohol was.
Okay, well, then it's solved.
Yeah.
That is solved.
And this game had achievements.
Yeah, it did. It did have achievements. So I do have a few achievements that came in from Twitch chat.
Awesome.
Let's see what we got. I picked my favorite ones. One of them's... No, I'm not going to spoil anything. All right, first achievement I got is coming from Brooks Arnold. In order to unlock 2 frogs, 1 cup, you need to beat Ribby and Croaks in single-player mode.
Nice.
Next one's coming from Choctopus. 2 in the pink. And in order to unlock 2 in the pink, you need to get 2 parries on any level.
Perfect.
Okay.
And the next achievement, I wish had something to do with Stink, but it doesn't. It is the title of there's no title. Actually, the title of this achievement is taquitos.net. And in order to unlock taquitos.net, you need to get murdered by a Dorito on the honeybee stage. Because one of her attacks, before she turns into a plane, I kept calling it it's like a cosmic Dorito. Because it's like this nebulous, like black hole looking triangle that's shaped like a Dorito. Because, it's a triangle. Every time I see a triangle, it's like, it's probably a Dorito. It fires a blast out of one of its ends. And I kept dying to the damn Dorito.
So it's like Magus's dark matter, only as a Dorito.
Yeah, it's a Delta. Yeah, it's the Delta tech. I've got a few questions for you, Tyler, if you feel like we're ready for that. Do you have any closing thoughts on the game that you like to...
Coco, do you have anything to say about the game?
I not really. I think we pretty much covered it. I thought it was a really enjoyable experience. I think that every serious gamer should play it, whether you're a rager or not. I think that everybody should experience the entire game as far as the art style and the level of detail and just the gameplay. I do think that it's a unique game that will never ever be able to be replicated. So
I agree.
Yeah. I'm curious to see.
Like Dave said earlier, it's timeless. It's gonna go. People are gonna be. This is going to be a retro game that people, 30 years from now are going to say, you have to play this game.
Yeah. It's like Wind Waker in that it's just like, at the time, Wind Waker I feel like was a questionable decision. But now, looking back, like Wind Waker is going to be the best looking Zelda forever.
Yeah. You don't think Breath of the Wild?
I can see those graphics aging, but the cartoony feel of Wind Waker is always going to look good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a sucker for pretty much all things animation and like cell shading and stuff like that. I think that this game, I agree with you, Coco. Like, I do feel like this is a game that if you like video games, like if you like your video games to feel like video games, or if you like animation, or if you like big band music. Like, these are all really good reasons to check this game out. It is a tough game. You can play it on simple. I don't know how simple mode actually is. Like, I don't know if you can see all of the content playing on simple mode. Like, I don't know if you get stuck or not. But man, this is like, seriously, I love this game. Like, this is 100% in my wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. This is,
oh yeah.
I mean, I would love to see Ghosts and Goblins get remade Cuphead style,
Shit, man.
Tyler, do you have any closing thoughts on the game?
Just that it's a testament to, and it's not just people like our age. Anyone can really enjoy this game because of all the media Kenna has to consume.
Yeah,
she can watch True, La La Loopsies, all that shit on Netflix, and then everything on YouTube.
Castlevania.
She can watch. What does she always want to watch? Like even over surprise videos and kids opening toys and shit like that she used to love.
Probably those Adam Sandler movies, right?
Of course, she loves. Yeah. She can't get enough Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah,
Kenna loves that.
The CG Garfield. That's wonderful. It's not.
But whenever she's here, what she always wants to watch is people playing through Cuphead.
Cool.
She loves everything with Cuphead. She will watch people on Twitch or on YouTube play through it. She's watched Markiplier play all the way through it. There's another person she loves to watch. She likes the fan animation, and she's obsessed with it. She always wants...
Please, Tyler, Fanimation.
She wants me to play through it. Dave, please, let's go play Cuphead.
That's awesome.
She loves it. One of my favorite things that we've gotten on the show is Master Mold Mike Lanham sent us a mini, well, I won't say mini, a smaller record, an actual legitimate record that plays the Cuphead soundtrack. Yeah. And I've got my record player in the living room. We listen to it because it's so good. And to hear it on a record makes it sound even better.
Yeah.
So that, and Kenna loves the Cuphead blanket we have. So most of what I get it for Christmas will be a lot of Cuphead
stuff. Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for her to be 4 and love Cuphead so much, I think it shows there's something special about this game and this animation style and how it plays.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's a testament to how well the animation in the game works. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, it really does look like you're playing a cartoon. Like, it really does. I would love to be able to, man, there's a lot of cool things you could do with time travel, but it would be really cool to bring someone from the 30s here and be like, all right, first of all, before we leave, put a bunch of money in the bank, all of your money. Second of all, let me show you this cartoon that you can play, dog.
Even when we're not playing the video game Cuphead, she'll want to play Cuphead. She'll get in the floor and act all goofy and crazy like a Cuphead boss, and I have to pretend I'm shooting her, and then she'll go knockout.
I love it.
Yeah, that is pretty great.
I have a question for you, Dave.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you remember what your death count was after your first playthrough?
No, I don't. It was high. I know it was really, really high because there's a NPC that is like a pond that you can talk to who will tell you how many times you died. I mean, it was very high. I know it was over 100. Do you know what yours was?
Oh, that's not that bad.
What was yours?
I was in the 300s.
Yeah, I mean, I'll check when I get home. I will check.
I'm curious
because we're probably right about the same amount. I died a lot. But
you need to. You sort of have to.
Yeah, it's part of the process, I think.
See, I need to go see about that on my co-op game to see if it totals all together or separately or Yeah,
I know when it probably does it separately would be my guess, just because I know in the overworld map you control each other. You control each player controls their own character even on the overworld map. So that makes me believe that each character could individually talk to the pond.
There used to be a Mugman glitch to where if you dropped out of the game and came back in, it would make an additional Mugman on the screen.
Really?
So you could have an army of one Cuphead and 20 Mugmen just walking around filling the area.
That's amazing. I love it. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I have some important questions for you.
And have you ever listened to any of our show before, Coco?
I have, yes.
Okay, so you're slightly familiar. I was about to say, because now I know you're going to love it so much, you're going to have to go back and listen to all 490 episodes.
Here on TADPOG, we like to do things a little bit
differently.
Yeah. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
If you were to give this game a beard, that sums up how you feel about it, because you are our bearded host. What kind of beard would that be?
I would have to give this the curated nice mustache of one Max Fleischer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Did Cab Calloway have a beard?
He had a mustache.
All right. Did he have glasses?
Nope.
All right. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses, that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would it be?
That would be the golden spectacles of one Dave Fleischer,
Hey, that's my name.
Yeah.
Except for Fleischer.
who together were the biggest influence on the Moldenhauer brothers for the creation of Cuphead.
Yeah, and I can see it for sure. Cool, man. I normally would ask you at this point how much you think this game costs on average, according to PriceCharting.com, but this game is pretty much $19.99. But from what I've seen on IsThereAnyDeal.com, like it goes on sale. I mean, pretty frequently.
Is it strictly a digital release? Are there any physical copies of Cuphead?
I do not know the answer to that question. And man, I am afraid to find out, because if there's a physical copy of it, then I mean,
Yeah.
I might want to buy it. But I'm sure the physical copy would probably be
It comes
Xbox
in a
One.
friend-style large coffee cup.
Yeah, how do we not have any Central Perk references on this episode? I do have
Friends fans.
Shit, yeah.
yeah, that's all Tyler. And we've got a friend of the show. She's been on a few times, Taryn, who she really knows Friends.
And she won HQ trivia, Friends trivia, the last time it was up.
Yeah. I did not. I played in that game and I did not do very well.
I thought about joining for that, but then
You would
didn't.
have aced it. Yeah, you'd aced it, I think. I do have 10 more questions. Now this is for all of us. Quizmaster Matt, Bovine Bear, sent us 10 question. I assume it's 10 question. He sent us a quiz called Boss Rush Quiz.
All right.
Coco, are you ready? Will you help us with this quiz?
I'm gonna do my best.
Okay.
Don't be disappointed in me if I'm not very helpful.
The only way that we would be disappointed is if you Googled the answers. Which I'm almost positive Ross was doing when we did our Fallout 4 DLC episode. Just kidding.
And that Ben was clearly doing during our Tony Hawk Pro.
Oh,
Skater.
yeah, that's not even a joke. Yeah, he was doing that. Okay. This one's all about video game bosses. First question. It's done Dave style, so they're not actually questions. The axe behind him is his downfall. That's Bowser.
That's Bowser.
Yeah.
Bowser Super Mario Brothers, if we have to be specific.
We're good. We're good with Bowser. Okay. Next question. The leader of the space pirates in the Metroid series.
Oh my gosh.
It's not Kraid. It's the other one.
I don't know that much about Metroid, to be honest. It's not Ridley,
I've
is it?
recently
Ridley.
played 2 Metroid games. I should know this.
Does Ridley sound right?
It's Ridley.
Okay. Coco, what do you... Oh.
I don't think it's Ridley, but I don't know what the answer is.
I don't have any other, when I think about Metroid, that's the boss I think about.
Because Ridley is the pterodactyl looking one.
Yeah. The pterodactyl. Is he the leader?
Because I thought it was weird. Why is it pterodactyl? But I'm pretty sure it's him. Because then Kraid is the one who gets bigger and bigger as he's in the series. But then the giant, looks like an Ultraman boss with the spikes on his belly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a better guess than what I'd be able to do. So we'll go with that.
You want to go?
And I think Ridley is even in the new Smash Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's probably the reason. That's the main reason, I know who Ridley is.
And Ridley was responsible for the death of Samus's parents, I think.
I didn't know that.
I think.
So
See, I can't argue with Tyler. He knows what he's talking about.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, I have not played. I'm not a Metroid guy.
Yeah.
I've Zero Mission,
You're way more a Metroid guy
Fusion.
than
That's
I am.
about it. That's about all.
So I'm deferring to you.
Okay.
Ridley, do you think that's
Ridley. Final answer.
Ridley? We got it. We're 2 for 2.
It is Ridley.
It's Ridley. All right, here we go. Third question. Wesker unleashes this boss in Resident Evil. Would that be Nemesis?
I think it's Tyrant.
Is it Tyrant?
I think Nemesis isn't until the third one.
Coco, are you a big
I
Resident
have
Evil?
no idea.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, I'm gonna go with Tyrant then, because
Tyrant is the boss of the first one.
Okay. Then yeah, Tyrant. Logging it in.
Or it's not it's something weird like liquor. Welcome to the
Yeah.
person.
what does Wesker unleash? Rudeness.
The girl zombie out of that cabinet.
All right, locking it in. Tyrant. Sorry, it's actually Tyant.
Tyant.
I believe that's a typo. I'm gonna go ahead and give ourselves credit.
It's a very tiny ant. You don't normally see it, but Ridley, not Ridley. What about Wesker? He opens the door at the very beginning, like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, I like to think it's a Tyler.
And that ant makes it to Raccoon City and causes all the destruction.
All right, next question. This is in quotes. You will never win. And then another quote. Are you still trying to win? I do not know what those quotes are from.
I have no idea.
Is that like a Psycho Mantis
this quiz
thing?
is making me feel really dumb.
That makes me think it's some sort of a fighting game after you lose.
Yeah, that's what I initially thought too, but it's weird because it's two separate quotes put together. Like the first quote is, you will never win. The second quote is, are you still trying to win?
So that makes me think it's from like something like Punch Out, to where they'll say different things to you.
That sounds like one of the quotes after you lose in a Punch-Out match.
Yeah. Any guesses what character it might be?
It might. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think. Is that like Bald Bull? I mean, I'm trying to think of like, an iconic
ones like
Right.
Mr. Dream or Mr. Sandman, Bald Bull. Could be Mike Tyson, doesn't sound like, but.
Yeah, I didn't read it in the right voice, so it's definitely not him.
Are you still trying to win?
That was Michael Jackson.
Yes, sorry.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I go with a Punch-Out boss.
I think that's a good. Yeah, I think that's a good direction. It's not King Hippo.
For some reason, I want to say like Mr. Sandman.
You want to go with Mr.
Somebody
Sandman?
who I know is a little more taciturn.
Was it Mr. Sandman or was it Mr.
It might be Mr. Dream.
Mr. Dream.
Because I'm super Punch Out guy, not Punch Out guy. So maybe Mr. Dream.
Oh, all right. I don't know. So you want to lock that one in?
Sure.
All right. Fuck. Shao Kahn. Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Man,
All right.
we were on the right track though. I mean, it was definitely, you guys got me on that fighting game.
It was a fighting game.
Here's like, I always thought like Shao Kahn's lines were like, die.
I got my ass beat when I tried to open up heaven.
Right. Yeah. Well, that'll happen.
But hell, that was a little better, but still not great.
Kind of easy.
Hey, Scorpion.
Yeah. You got to get past the casino. Next question. Mega Man 1 boss, his name is a boxing term. Blockman? Is that a Mega Man 1 boss?
No.
Okay, because there's Cut Man, Guts Man.
Cut me, right?
Yeah. It's true. Who were the other?
You got to have guts to be a boxer. So there's that too.
Who are the other Mega Man 1 bosses?
It's been a long time.
There's like Iceman, the one who's wearing like a winter coat.
It has been a very long time. I do not know. Cutman, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Mega Man 1 is not my jam, so I don't know. Ask me about any of the others.
Mega Man 1 is the one I don't enjoy very much.
I just don't know much about it. I am not helping at all. I am dead weight on this quiz team.
Me too.
I'll go with Cutman. That sounds fine.
I mean, right?
I can't think of any others.
I mean, I've never seen a Rocky movie, but I have heard people say things like "cut me."
Yeah, that's true.
So
Stallone says that. Yeah,
right. So I don't. It's like an eye.
Adrian Man.
Adrian,
No.
yeah, right. Yeah, Philadelphia Man. I mean, Cutman.
See, Philadelphia Man would have an AIDS gun. It's totally different.
It's Tom
totally
Hanks,
different.
Right. Cutman.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Cutman.
Cutman.
Nice.
We did it.
All right.
Yes. All right, team. Next question. Of the two ghost bosses in Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, this quiz was made for Tyler. Name the one that's not Boo. So there's two ghost bosses in Yoshi's Island. What's the name of the one that's not Boo?
I do not even remember.
Oh, bummer.
Like at all.
I do not know.
I don't know.
It's been a long time.
I don't even think I finished that game. So I feel, yeah.
I think
Tyler?
It was, I'm remembering like a ghost in a flower pot that blows you back and you have to run up and push the pot till it falls off the end. You remember what I'm talking about?
No, man. It's been so long since I played that. The only thing I remember from that game is Mario's crying and Touch Fuzzy getting dizzy. Because that is like so many good references wrapped up in one phrase.
So I mean, I do not remember his name, but I think that's the other ghost. Flower pot ghost.
Flower pot ghost. All right, we're locking it in. Half credit.
Okay.
Half credit. Roger the potted ghost.
All right.
That's okay.
Not Pop's Ghostly. Not to be confused with,
With the
Pop's
best video
Ghostly.
game of all time.
Maybe in the
Coco, please play that on your Twitch stream. The Adventure of Pop's Ghostly.
Yes, it's an official request.
Look it up on YouTube,
It's an official request.
and I hope you have a VCR.
Yeah,
you have to have a VCR.
You're gonna need one of those.
What's a VCR?
Man, it's one of those. I need to go back and finish Yoshi's Island because I didn't finish that game.
Oh, did you not?
No, I did not finish
my God,
it.
I love it so much. Just that one though, I've been disappointed by every other Yoshi's Island sequel.
You're not the only person I've heard say that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question.
That's another timeless art style that's always going to be pretty.
Yeah. Wields the great knife, proper noun, great knife. When seen walking, he drags it along the ground behind him. He's going to be a boss who wields the great knife. He drags
Is this any game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it could be any game.
Because that, I mean,
The great knife as a proper noun almost makes me think of Soul Calibur or something.
yeah.
But
I know there's also, I know it's Giant Knife, the Giant's Knife in all the Zelda games, but I don't remember having to fight a boss for it. I think that could, I'm also thinking like something like Dark Souls.
yeah.
Oh,
Great Knife.
Also, I know it's crazy to maybe like obsess over this detail, but he does say when seen walking. So that would
You
imply
have to be able to observe him.
right, observe him walking. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, does he not walk a lot? Like, is he bedridden? Is he Dale the Whale?
It makes it like he's an optional boss you have to run up to trigger.
Yeah.
So you could watch him walking around.
I don't know. I do not know the answer to this.
Is it, what's the nameless boss from Dark Souls?
Sure. Yeah. Coco, are you good with that?
sure. That's great.
All right. The name
There is
boss.
like a nameless boss.
Better than what I could come up with.
Locked in. Pyramid Head.
Shit. Shit. Yeah.
Pyramid
yeah,
Head.
Pyramid
Yeah,
Head.
you
Silent
got
Hill.
us. You got us.
Sean Miller would have got that.
Yeah. Next question. God, man.
I've never even played late enough into Silent Hill games. I've even seen Pyramid Head. I've only seen cosplay of Pyramid Head.
This is like the most anti-Dave quiz that I think we've ever gotten. Here is the next question. Metal Gear Solid.
Ugh.
Oh gosh.
Her ending is a tearjerker, brings cigarettes, and a handkerchief.
I guess it's the woman on the other end who gives Snake all his orders.
Like at a restaurant or something?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when he's a short order
Well,
cook?
yeah, he has to work
Yeah.
undercover to catch Revolver Ocelot in a diner.
Right? I mean,
I'm trying to think of any because I don't know
Metal Gear Solid
Coco.
at all.
Do you know
Coco?
any Metal Gear Solid?
I don't know Metal Gear Solid at all either. Who made this quiz? Dave?
This was,
Because I have a little chat with them about making me feel like a terrible, terrible gamer.
This quiz is by Quizmaster Matt, who is always very worried about the quality of his quiz.
Metal Gear Solid. I'm trying to think of any. Is Raiden a woman?
Dude, I mean, not for Mortal Kombat, but I don't know. I miss Shao Kahn. That was one of the answers. So
Vagina Snake, the female version. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
Liquid Snake. That's a snake.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a villain or a woman or the name of a game. I know nothing about Metal Gear Solid.
I'm no help. All of these games so far, I'm just no help.
Lieutenant Girl.
Lieutenant Girl. That's probably not right.
So if I get Lieutenant right, half credit.
Is there a character I know Psycho,
but it's a villain, right? So,
and I know everyone always talks about that Psycho Mantis fight. I don't know anything about Psycho Mantis. I don't know if that's
could be
a woman. I don't know if that's a smoker.
it's a better guess.
I mean, that's a shitty stereotype to call it. There's a female boss and she's psycho.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That's like the only villain that I've heard of in that series, but that's probably not right.
I'm fine with that.
All right.
Let's lock it in.
All right, let's lock in this very wrong answer. It is Sniper Wolf. Sorry, Sniper Wolf.
No clue. Never even heard of that character.
Me neither. Next question. What is a man?
Oh, he's just a miserable ball of secrets.
Exactly. So, Dracula, lock it in.
Yep. Is that the actual question?
Yeah. What is a man? It's in quotes. Yeah. I feel like that was Matt helping us out after that Metal Gear Solid
Okay. A
question.
miserable little pile of secrets.
It is, in fact, locked in. It is Dracula. Last question. The primary weapon of Anton Gerdeau, the final boss of Siphon Filter.
Matt, could you hear me roll my eyes?
I tap out, guys.
Yeah. The primary weapon.
I can barely think of what the Siphon Filter logo looks like.
Yeah, right? It actually sounds like something I would buy at AutoZone. I don't.
This quiz is something else.
It's a toughie.
I'll just reference Eddie Izzard and say Jeff, the god of muffins.
I'm good with Jeff, the god of muffins. Coco?
I third Jeff, the god of muffins.
Jeff, the god of muffins. Locked in. Ooh, flame.
Half credit.
Half credit. Jeff, the flamethrower. Flamethrower was the answer. And thus concludes the Boss Rush quiz.
Thank you mostly, Matt.
How many did you guys get? One?
Oh, we're a team. So we got Bowser, we got Ridley, we got Tyant. We missed Shao Kahn. We got Cutman. Half credit on Roger the Potted Ghost. So we're at 4.5. We got Dracula, which is 5.5. So we got 5.5 out of 10.
All right.
That's probably better
We
than
would have still failed.
That's
but
over half.
Yeah. F plus. Thank you for taking that quiz with us, Coco.
Yeah. I deem Tyler MVP for that round, though.
Yeah. Yes. 100%. S rank, Tyler.
S rank still failing. Still failing.
Well, if Coco and I had also been S rank, we'd have aced it.
That's true.
Well, we sandbagged
we're
you.
going to have to talk to this Quizmaster of yours.
Matt, I think your quiz was wonderful. Don't stress out about it. Just keep them coming. We'll get better at them, or we won't.
We'll study more.
Yes,
We'll study more.
Right.
Or you'll get better at writing them. Somebody's going to get better.
All right. Clarify that you're kidding.
I'm kidding. Mostly. Any other thoughts on Cuphead?
I think that's it for me.
Okay. Coco, thank you very much for
Play
coming
it.
on.
I'm telling people to play it.
Yes, please play
That's
it.
my
Play
last
it.
remark.
Yeah, we really.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
It was
Thank you.
fun.
Does it feel like it's been 2 hours?
No, actually.
That's good. That's a sign of a good one.
when I was, when I look at all the, I'm like, oh my gosh, 2 hours? Can I sit there and talk for 2 hours? I'm like, I stream for 4 to 6 hours a day. I was like, this is nothing. This is easy.
Yeah, you got it. You got this. So yeah, tell us where we can find you on Twitch.
Twitch.tv/CocoConfession. That's where you can find me.
And is there anything else that you'd like to plug, or in like any social media or anything like that? Or
It's pretty much the same across Twitter, Instagram. I do have a website, CocoConfession.com. So it's pretty consistent amongst everything. So if you search Coco Confession, you're going to be able to find me.
Cool. I do recommend that everyone check out Coco's Twitch stream because it is very entertaining. And Coco, you're like one of the most positive streamers that I think I've ever had the joy of meeting. So I really do appreciate you coming on the show, taking the time to do it.
Of course. I'm honored to be a part of it. Thank you.
Let's see. So thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, so don't miss the next episode. What are we going to talk about next episode?
This is what we have on the books. We have Symphony of the Night on the schedule. I need to talk to some people to make sure that they can record. If they can't, we're going to have to punt and do something else.
I say we go with Steven's Video Game of the Month.
Oh, the Retro Video Game of the Month club game. Will it officially be December when we record next? Because that is a December game.
You're right.
I think we just need to do Symphony of the Night.
Okay.
I've already talked to Josh. I've talked to Paul, and I've talked to Kyle. They're all in. I just haven't like finalized a date and time and stuff like
so
that.
Whoever can make it most easily, and we'll do it next week.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because we are planning on doing Symphony of the Night as a 2-parter. Which I think it totally deserves it. And it's probably the longest Castlevania game that we've yet to talk about. So, I mean, I think it warrants it.
Okay. Symphony of the Night. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Tentatively, unless everyone's schedule falls apart, and then we will do something else.
Yep. I'm going to try and play it on the Saturn.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Because I want to play as Maria.
Nice. Yeah. And that's the only way you can do it, from what I understand, is playing it on the Saturn. Cool. I hope you can, because I want to know what that's like.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Because it's like Maria grown up from Rondo of Blood.
I didn't see her throwing around any doves, but
That is a bummer.
that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, we have a package from Link we didn't get to because we didn't want to eat mystery meats with somebody who couldn't also enjoy the mystery meats.
Right.
But if you want to send us something, you send it to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
Yep. You can also give us a call if you want, 270-883-2555. Leave us a voicemail. We do periodically answer those voicemails. And we actually just released a Patreon bonus episode where we take all calls. Brandon of Axelay fame was on there, and I thought it was a really good episode. It was really good to see Brandon again. The name of the episode is Stupid Vape Tricks, if that,
If that entices you.
And speaking of Patreon, you can find us there. We're patreon.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people who donate to us. I actually have some new people to thank. I know Exalted Lord Mike of Purdue recently upped his donation by a penny, riding that penny train. And then we've also got Dylan Rice is a new patron. Thank you, Dylan. I hope you enjoy the bonus content. And Elliot Jones, also a new patron. So, Elliot, thank you as well. And hope you enjoy the stuff that we publish exclusively on Patreon, except for that one episode that we needed to publish on the real feed.
We're still going to get to the other shit. We're going to get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have stuff that we need to
Post holidays, I think that'll be a lot easier once we get through the holidays.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have an Instagram.
That's fancy. That is fancy.
Yeah, it's better. But we have the British Instagram. It's called Instagram.
Yeah. Some people use
better.
Instagram, but we do use Instagram.
Yeah, we're elitist like that. Tadpog_podcast.
Yes. You can find us on Twitter. Just search for us. You can find us on Facebook. Again, just search for us. We do have a really cool Facebook group called Tadpog Nation, where we're organizing. Brandon Cates is organizing. I should not take credit for Brandon's hard work. He's organizing a Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Tournament. So if you want to get in on that, join us on the Nation.
Executive Bruiser Janie has our backlog on YouTube as well as your the recordings of your Twitch.
Yeah, that's where the Twitch stream archive lives. So yeah, if you want to check any of that stuff out, it's youtube.com/tadpog.
Yeah. Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. Leave that track from Thunderstones at tadpog.com. Coco.
Yes.
How would you like to close this show out?
Oh my gosh, that's so much pressure.
It is. It's a lot of pressure.
That is so much pressure. I'm going with the flow. You guys do your thing. Maybe Dave can sing for us.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
We could close it out as our favorite cartoon character.
Okay.
What do you think? Or our favorite devil.
No.
I was thinking a barbershop trio.
Oh my God, that combines. Yeah. All right, barbershop trio. I'm down.
Oh my God. Okay.
So until next time.
Oh wait, we got to figure out who's doing what part. This
Okay.
is not going to work. Does anybody know what the parts are? The Sopranos one. And
Okay.
then alto, and then baritone and bass, I believe.
Okay, Coco, you do the bass.
Yes.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
And also, but we're a trio, so we got to figure out which one's out. I just want to add, if I could just add like 8 more complicated levels to this, that would be really cool.
Please, because you're already telling me more about barbershop quartets than I ever already knew.
Oh, I don't even know if what I said is true. I was just listing the saxophones that I know.
Oh, okay.
You guys are making me do one of my most feared things.
Singing?
Singing?
Singing.
Being part of a barbershop trio?
Yeah. Okay, just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
All right. So we'll all sing Tropical Capricorn, and you just pick. We'll just try to harmonize. We'll just do it on the fly.
Okay.
It's fine.
Oh
So-
God. This is gonna be so bad. Okay.
I think you should. Tyler, you normally say so until next time. I honestly think you should sing. You should lead us into that. You know, like they're like,
Oh, so I'll do the lead in, and then we'll all do.
and then we'll all
Okay.
harmonize on Tropical
And I
Capricorn.
just copy whatever you guys say, right?
Yeah, it'll be like when I was a kid in church and I would pretend to sing. It could be kind of like, well, then no, then
I sing in front of church one time.
No,
one
like in front of
time.
church?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. Every fifth Sunday, there'll be an entire singing service where you could sign up to sing a song.
It's Tyler time.
Yeah.
How did I'm assuming it didn't go well based on your tone.
Oh well, it was Brendan Hawkins of Legend of Zelda fame and I. And at the last minute, my 6-year-old brother wanted to join us.
Yeah,
Stole all that.
Really?
Stole all that godly thunder.
I was thinking that
No one
maybe
gave a shit about me singing. It was all about Ryan. He didn't even know the lyrics. That fucking asshole.
that's Griselda talk, Tyler. I like to think that you missed a note and Ryan was like,
Yeah, I backhanded him in front of the entire church. Pan pipes.
I didn't do my vocal warm-ups.
So until next time, Tropical Capricorn.
Nailed it.
I can't.
Coco, where were you?
Go and do it now by yourself, and we'll edit you in.
Yeah, we'll George Lucas Star Wars you into that one, but you do have to.
Oh my gosh. I can't take part in that. I can't. I'm laughing too hard.
Here, get close to the mic. So, what's your name?
Jenna.
What's your whole name?
Jenna.
Speak up a little bit. Do you like Cuphead?
Yeah.
What do you like about Cuphead?
The boss that I like is really the I don't know what's the train called again.
The train with the ghosts?
The Venom of the Express.
The Phantom Express.
Oh.
All right.
See, we didn't say that right the whole time. We just said ghost train.
We just said train,
But you knew
yeah.
what it was called. Why do you like that so much?
Because it has so many parts.
You like all the different parts?
Do you like who's your favorite, Cuphead or Mugman?
Mugman.
Mugman? Why
Yeah.
Mugman?
Because he always winks like me.
So what is your what do you really like about what else do you like about Cuphead?
Because because of the lady, the princess, and it turned into the moon.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hildeberg.
Who's Cuphead's girlfriend?
Mugman.
Yeah, I thought you said Cuphead and Mugman had girlfriends.
The goal of the ghost.
The ghost girl? What about that mermaid?
Yeah, I love that. I love that one
Yeah.
Why do you like the mermaid so much?
because she's so beautiful.
Oh.
Who's your least favorite boss? Who do you think is the worst?
The worst one is the worst one of part of the Vein of the Express is all of them.
Oh, all of them.
King Dice is pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Do you know Dave has a mask of King Dice?
I do. I should have brought it so you could see it.
It's really cool. Well, thank you for coming on the show. Talk about Cuphead.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug? Are you on social media or anything? Do you have a YouTube channel?
What's your favorite color?
Pink.
All right,
And
everybody. Pink. Check it out, everybody.
pink and purple and red and turquoise and blue and black and green and yellow and brown.
Subscribe to all those colors.
Who do you love?
Daddy. And Ava.
Oh, okay.
And Mugman, right?
And
All right,
McMahon.
perfect.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kenna Rose.
Thank you, Kenna.